Imagine waking up one morning to find out that your personal information, credit card details, and even your passwords are in the hands of strangers. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? This is the shocking reality of cybersecurity breaches, a reality that billions of Yahoo users faced in 2013 when their accounts were compromised. And let's not forget eBay's major breach a year later. The scale of these breaches is staggering, their potential impact even more so. Every piece of compromised data represents a person, a life, a story. It's not just about numbers. It's about the violation of trust, the invasion of privacy, and the potential for harm. As our world becomes increasingly digital, the risks and consequences of cybersecurity breaches are escalating. In a world where our lives are so intertwined with the digital realm, the importance of understanding and preventing cybersecurity breaches cannot be overstated. But what exactly happens during a cybersecurity breach? How does it all unfold? Imagine, if you will, a fortress. It's fortified with high walls and guarded gates. Yet, despite this, an intruder manages to find a way in. This is essentially what happens during a cybersecurity breach. The fortress is your computer network, and the intruder is a hacker. The first step in a cybersecurity breach is reconnaissance. This is where the hacker scouts out the network, looking for potential vulnerabilities. They may use techniques like port scanning or data mining to gather information about the network and its users. This stage can take anywhere from days to months, depending on the complexity of the network. Once the hacker has identified a potential vulnerability, they move to the next stage, gaining access. This is where they exploit the identified vulnerability to breach the network. They may use a variety of methods to do this, such as phishing attacks, where they trick a user into revealing their login details, or malware, where they install malicious software onto the network to gain control. After gaining access, the hacker then moves to the third stage, maintaining access. They do this by installing additional software or creating backdoors in the network. This allows them to come and go as they please, often without detection. The fourth stage is arguably the most damaging, data extraction. This is where the hacker accesses and steals sensitive data, such as personal details, financial information, or proprietary business data. This data can then be used or sold for a variety of nefarious purposes. Finally, the hacker moves to the last stage, covering their tracks. They do this by deleting logs, changing data, or even reconfiguring the network to make it appear as though they were never there. This makes it difficult for security professionals to trace the breach back to them. The motives behind these breaches can vary greatly. Some hackers are simply thrill seekers, looking to test their skills against a network's defenses. Others may be criminals looking to steal data for financial gain. Still others may be state-sponsored actors, conducting espionage or cyber warfare. But regardless of the motive, the process is largely the same. It's a systematic, step-by-step approach that involves a lot of planning and sophisticated tactics. So what can we learn from this? Well, understanding the anatomy of a cybersecurity breach can help us better protect our networks. By knowing how these breaches occur, we can take steps to strengthen our defenses, detect breaches more quickly, and respond more effectively when they do occur. As you can see, a cybersecurity breach is not just a simple click of a button. It's a complex process that often involves a lot of planning and sophisticated tactics. Now, not all data breaches are created equal. There are various ways in which these breaches can occur. Let's delve deeper into the different types of data breaches. First off, we have hacking intrusions. These are attacks where hackers use techniques like phishing scams, brute force access attempts, and ransomware to gain unauthorized access to your data. This is probably the most well-known type of data breach, and often the most damaging. Then, there's the insider threat. This occurs when someone within an organization, like an employee or contractor, intentionally or unintentionally misuses their access to expose sensitive information. It's like a Trojan horse, but instead of a wooden statue, it's someone you've invited into your organization. Moving on, we have data on the move. This type of breach occurs when data is being transmitted from one location to another, like from your laptop to a cloud server. If this data is not properly secured, it can be intercepted and stolen. Physical theft is another type of data breach. It's as simple as it sounds. This is when physical devices containing sensitive data, like laptops, smartphones, or servers, are stolen. Next, there's human error. This type of breach occurs when an individual makes a mistake that leads to a data breach, such as sending an email containing sensitive information to the wrong person. It's an easy mistake to make, but the consequences can be severe. Accidental internet exposure is another common type of data breach. This happens when sensitive data is accidentally made public, usually due to misconfigured security settings. Lastly, we have unauthorized access. This type of breach happens when an individual gains access to a computer system or network without permission, typically by exploiting a security vulnerability. All these breaches can have varying degrees of impact, but they all have one thing in common. They expose sensitive data that should be kept private. Understanding these different types of breaches is the first step towards effectively protecting yourself and your data. Now that we've understood what a cybersecurity breach is and how it happens, the question remains, how do you protect yourself? Well, let's delve into some practical steps that can help fortify your digital fortress. First and foremost, let's talk about passwords. A strong, unique password is your first line of defense against cyber threats. The longer and more complex it is, the harder it is for cyber criminals to crack. Try to create a password that's a mix of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. And remember, don't repeat passwords across multiple sites. Now, onto the second layer of defense, two-factor authentication, or 2FA. It's like a double lock for your digital door. Even if someone manages to get your password, they'll need a second piece of information, like a code sent to your phone, to gain access. So, whenever possible, enable 2FA on your accounts. Then we have the art of being cautious. Cybercriminals often use phishing emails or suspicious links to trick you into giving them your information. If something seems fishy, it probably is. Don't click on links from unknown senders, and always double-check the email address to ensure it's from a trusted source. Another crucial aspect of cybersecurity is keeping your software up to date. Regular updates and patches often come with security enhancements that protect against newly discovered threats. It might seem like a chore, but it's a small price to pay for your safety. Speaking of safety, let's not forget the importance of a secure network. Public Wi-Fi networks are often less secure than private ones, making them a playground for cyber criminals. If you can, avoid using public Wi-Fi for sensitive activities like online banking. If you must, consider using a virtual private network or VPN to encrypt your data and keep it safe from prying eyes. And finally, always remember to back up your data. In the unfortunate event of a breach, having a backup can save you from losing precious information. In a nutshell, protecting yourself from cybersecurity breaches is about being proactive. It's about taking the necessary steps to guard your digital world before a threat arises. It's about understanding that the power to prevent cybersecurity breaches lies within you. Remember, in the digital world, your security is in your hands. Stay vigilant, stay safe. In this era of digital dependency, the threat of cybersecurity breaches looms large. We've walked through some shocking realities of cybersecurity breaches, dissecting their anatomy and exploring the various types. From hacking intrusions to insider threats, data on the move to physical theft, human error, accidental internet exposure, and unauthorized access, the landscape is vast and complex. But it's not all doom and gloom. We've also delved into how you can protect yourself from these breaches. Staying vigilant, employing strong and unique passwords, keeping software updated, and being aware of phishing scams are just a few steps in the right direction. Understanding cybersecurity breaches and the steps you can take to protect yourself is crucial in this digital age. Remember, the threat is real, but so is the power of knowledge and action. Remember, knowledge is power. Arm yourself with it to keep your digital life secure.